Hello from the Cannon Academy Homeschool. So today I'm doing what I call the Cannon Academy Homeschool Happenings of the Week. This is for the week of June 6th through June 10th, 2022. And as a group, we are doing things called Heart Healthy Miles. So for every 15 minutes of exercise we do, we gain a mile. And this week, we earned 19.61 miles because some days there was myself and 2 children. Sometimes there was myself and 3 children. And then on Friday, we had my granddog, Al, who is a retired greyhound and a rescue. And so he contributed a little bit. So again, we had 19.61 heart healthy miles for exercise. And then we're doing reading miles. So for every minute that the children read to me, or if they were to read to their parents and bring back a statement saying how long they read to them, they will gain 5 reading miles. So this week they did 205 reading miles. Now what we're doing with our reading miles and our exercise miles is we're putting them together, and we did the Oregon Trail, and that took us several months, and then we started working our way down through California over to Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Louisiana, through Mississippi. This week we studied Alabama and Tennessee because we're almost through there. We're headed for Lexington, Kentucky now. So we actually have 201.93 miles that we still need to reach Lexington, Kentucky. The kids are real excited about this. And what we do is every time we get through a state or nearly through a state, we do these map books. I found it's like a kind of like a Dell crossword type book, but only it's maps, and it gives you a little bit of information about each state. So we did those on Alabama and Tennessee this week, and we also do Homeschool Pop videos. The kids just love Homeschool Pop, and we're going to use him for other subjects as well coming up here soon. We've just slowed down a bit because of it being summer. Now we did learn that in Alabama, Montgomery is the biggest city along with being the capital, and that they raise the most cotton that we use for clothes and things like that throughout our lives. So because of that, we're going to plant some cotton seeds, which I have tons of. I bought some for 50 cents one year, and we planted those, my daughter and I, and they came up, but they didn't do so hot. And then the next year I bought a fairly large envelope of a couple hundred of them, heirloom cotton, for a couple of dollars, and we planted those, and they did extremely well and everything. So she learned how to card everything out of it, and we pulled the seeds out and separated them and stuff. The only thing we have not been able to do, and we watched a number of YouTube videos and Pinterest, and we went to a local place. It's like a historic site where they do, they pretend to be the people from earlier in our United States history. It's called Connor's Prairie in Fishers, Indiana, and we talked to them about it. Well, they were having trouble with their cotton crops, and they wanted us to talk to somebody, and I was like, if you could help us weave our cotton, which wasn't very much, just a couple of shoe boxes full and everything, and needless to say, the person we needed to talk to about their cotton was not in, so we did not get the help we needed. So I may reach out to them again, even though it's been years. So anyway, the kids are real excited about growing this cotton and everything, and it'll be a learning experience because you have to learn how to let it dry and open and then pull the cotton out without getting stuck by the plant. Then we also study Tennessee, and we learn that while Nashville is the capital, Memphis is actually the biggest city in Tennessee. And we learned that Tennessee is well known for Nashville and Memphis for their country music, which, I already kind of knew, but they did not. So that's where our reading and exercise miles are going. We will end up backtracking to get a few states that we missed along the way, and we will go down the East Coast and everything at some point. They're 5 and 7. Actually, the youngest one's 4, but he'll be 5 in a couple of weeks, and the oldest will be 7 in a couple of weeks. And then I have a 6.5-year-old in the middle. She won't be 7 until November. So, as far as like work pages that we did this week, the 4-year-old did 9 work pages. His sister did 7. And then the oldest one, he doesn't come as often through the week. He did 5 pages. Now this counts those 2 map pages. And the kind of work that they were on are classifying food, writing invitations, sequencing as far as what happened first and so forth, reading comprehension on stories like one called Monday Morning, and another one was about Paul Bunyan and Pecos Bill. They also had a couple of math pages from a jumbo book of math, which I really like that. It does, on the same page, it does like addition problems. Further in the book, we'll have subtraction again. It has a grid where you fill in all the missing numbers up to a certain point. It'll do even and odd numbers where you count the objects and then decide if it's even or odd, finishing patterns, things like that. So it's a really cool book. We did a sight word page on the words am and any. And so that was basically our sit-down work for the week. Their playtime activities were things like alphabet bingo, U.S. geography bingo, ocean bingo, building blocks, and we have sorting bears. They did lacing cards and stringing beads, memory match games, flat puzzles, giant floor puzzles, coloring books, drawing. They play with play tools, dolls, cars, and trucks. So that's quite a bit, and they fill in the blanks, so they're not always sitting and doing a lot of work and things. And of course, they did read various books just for fun. A couple of them did come up to me in the week and read to me. So one of the books that was read was Disney Winnie the Pooh, Piglet Feels Small by Jennifer Weinberg. And another one was Disney The Little Mermaid, adapted by Jay Colby. And then I have a book collection of biscuit stories. So one of them read Biscuit's New Trick by Alyssa Satin Cappuccini, or Seeley. And I will put those titles in the description when I publish. Other things we did for learning this week were flashcards, alphabet for, of course, the letters themselves, and for phonics, doing the sounds. They had pictures on them, so the children had to say the letter, then say the name of the pictures, then give me the sound that that letter made. We were especially working on vowels, long and short vowels. Then we did addition flashcards and subtraction flashcards, of which they all got 30 of each correct. I'm splitting those up between 3 of them. They did wipe off books for multiplication, shapes, hidden objects. We did a letter sound DVD that had 8 mini lessons on them. And then we did a yoga kids VHS tape I had, which was 30 minutes in itself. So that, along with different things like going on our walks and things like that, and the kids noticing different things, and we had a discussion. Like one day, my oldest granddaughter, the one in the middle there, she noticed that when you're walking and the sun is behind you, your shadow is in front of you. and when the sun is in front of you, your shadow is behind you, and things like that. And they talked about various different seeds that they're seeing that are dropping from the trees and stuff, and the flowers in people's yards, and animals we saw. We live in the city, but there are a lot of rabbits in our front yard all the time, and we see hawks, and occasionally there have been known to be fox and stuff. A couple of years we've had baby deer go through our yard down to the end of the street. Figured that one out. So if you enjoy this, then please like at the bottom of the screen, and feel free to subscribe and share it with your friends. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe. All it does for you is every time I post something, it will notify you, and then you can decide if it's something that you're interested in watching or not at the time. So until next time, from the Cannon Academy Homeschool, have a good day. Bye-bye.